सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् बुद्धो गुहायां सदसद्विलक्षणम् ब्रह्मास्ति सत्यं परमद्वितीयम् तदात्मनायोऽत्र वसेद् गुहायाम् पुनः न तस्याङ्गगुहा प्रवेशः. The most important thing in a human being is the intellect, the decision making capacity. It is given to the human beings, and based on the decisions the person does varieties of things. And this faculty of thinking, this faculty of thinking, it is there in other certain animals also, definitely, but it is not so mature. They are what they are, and accordingly they transact in the society, in the world, not in the society. The animals, the birds, insects, they behave in their own way. But human beings, they have been endowed with the capacity of discrimination. They can think what is good for them, what's not good for them, what is good for their future. All these things they can think. And that's the reason why they take up varieties of professions. We call it professions, whatever it is today. In fact, there is no profession at all. What is the question of profession? When the human beings was wandering in the forest, there is no question of any profession. These days, the whole profession is coined here, given the variety of jobs they do. Slowly, the society has evolved into this situation now. There was a time when nobody had any thought of profession. Just you need to eat, appease your hunger, quench your thirst. That much was the need of the human being. In fact, that's the same thing even now also. But you take up different professions. And of course, even though there was nothing at that time when the society was not like this, the thinking faculty was there, definitely. Decision-making faculty, what is right and what is wrong, what should be done in life, etc. So naturally, it will come to an adult human being, definitely. A child is not, the child keeps playing. That's how it is written. One verse is written with respect to the nature of the human being, starting from childhood to the old age. A child keeps playing; it doesn't know anything, whether its parents are poor or rich. It doesn't bother about. Child doesn't bother about that. Keeps playing. Whatever it gets, it eats or cries if it doesn't get. Then the adult keeps dreaming and doing this and that, roaming around. So this is how the nature of the adult. And old age, the person keep lamenting. Why? Because the instrument is not allowing the person to work. That's very natural. Every old person, whether it is human being or any other animals, birds, old age means the person should get ready for the next stage. And with respect to birds and animals, they are eaten up by other animals and birds. That is the nature of the nature. So, this decision making faculty being there in the human being, he needs to decide what is the best for him. What is the best for him, he needs to decide. Now, what is the best for you? Almost everybody. Living is natural. Hmm. Living takes place. Now, for living, human beings, they need food and water. And that is the reason. Without that, you cannot do anything. Without food and water, you cannot do anything. So that is the that's the reason why almost 100% people are after this food and water. Almost 100% people. The activities of the human beings are centered on this food and water. Or you can say shortly how how they can live comfortably. How can they live comfortably? So they are not bothered about any other things. They do not care about when the death will come, etc. Nobody thinks about that anyway. When you wake up, no, almost nobody thinks about death. People keep dying. Child also dies, a young person also dies, and old also dies. But hardly anybody thinks about death. Even the old, very old, the person is lying in the bed, then the knowledge of the death will come definitely. Thought of the death will come definitely, and definitely that particular thought will uh, torture the person because he had not thought about it earlier. Now, you decide. What do you decide? Generally, what happens? You decide according to the contemporary society. Your decisions are based on the contemporary society. The society, we know today's society, varieties of jobs. You call it a job. So that they go after job. Security. You want to feel secure with respect to your future. If you have these things, if you have, they call it no income. If they have got the flow of income, continuous flow of income, then they will live comfortably. They think like this. Almost 100% people, and sure, that's for sure. You need food and water, and food and water are not going to come just like that. So you take up certain profession so that your basic needs are fulfilled. So that is the reason why they are interested in secured income, which is called these days government job, etc. Secured income and this system of storing things. It is very much there. Uh, you need to store things so that in future you can use it. This is how the activities of almost, we can say, 99% human beings to feel secure. Okay. Now, there itself now in these days, particularly this society, contemporary society, in that also varieties of jobs. Certain people are there who don't go for this government job. They want to take risk. They go for a business. They want more money. Why do you need more money? You want to live in a better way according to you. Better food, better dress. So this is how some people, a handful of people, they go for business. Mm. Because that will that will earn you much money, much more money. There are some people who are not interested in money. A handful of people are there who are not interested in money. They want to rule. They want to rule. Yeah. So people ruling. It's not a small uh, desire. It's a very strong desire. Actually. When you have got the desire to rule, you will not be interested in money, etc. Doesn't matter. The person will take much more trouble. He may not eat one day also, or now and then, but he wants mm, to rule. He wants to rule. Ruling. And if people are obeying you, they're looking at you, you feel so great, you know. You feel yourself to be so great. So, handful of people are there who want to become rulers. Mm. These days, this MLAs, MPs, whatever you call it. So, rulers, definitely. And among the professions, some people will be interested in uh, having knowledge about this body, which is called the medicine, doctors. Some people will be interested in teaching language. Some people are interested in studying the plants. There are people who are interested in studying plants. There are people who are interested in astronomy, astrology, and a handful of people are there who are interested in this variety of activities, unseen activities, not locally visible. Such activities, they are interested in doing those things so that they can get some result out of it. A handful of people. That is called austerity measures. They take the austere life. Things are there, but they don't want to enjoy. And they keep taking the names of the Lord. A handful of people are there. Very, very small number of people. They are not interested in enjoying any special food, etc. In fact, they want to stay away from tasty food. There are a handful of people. They want to stay away from tasty food. No question of keeping money. Even if they don't get, they don't bother. Why? They are also enjoying something, you know. If this fellow is not getting any food today, he didn't get any food, but he's enjoying. Why? His mind is somewhere. His mind is somewhere. So such people are there also. Mm. They leave. They leave all the property, whatever they had, and they do these types of things. This deity, that deity, this name of the Lord, that name of the Lord, that keep taking, and they live their way. They don't want to live in the society. Some people are there. So, who is doing all these things? It is the intellect. It is the intellect. You see things happening around naturally because you have got your sense organs. The external world, variety of changes are taking place. You are bound to know all these things. What is happening? And you know also what you can do and what you cannot do. You know. So why these things takes place? Why these things happen? Why not everybody is doing the same thing? So it is the importance that you give. Whatever you do, the importance that you give. That's why this place intellect is called. It's a cave-like thing, you know. It's full of darkness. In a cave, it is full of darkness. Okay, or your own room also. Suppose you switch off the light, it is totally dark. So intellect is just like that. So everybody is running after things. In fact, this person also who is interested in some worshipping, etc., austerity measures, so chanting the name of some Lord, etc., and he wants to get something in life. He wants to get some power. People should be afraid of him. Or there may be some people also who are interested in doing good to others. I am for the society, etc. So varieties of decisions they happen in the human beings. So starting from that's why I started. This starting from going after things to feel secure to the level of feeling secure at the hands of someone else, at the hands of the Lord. I mean, you can see the different thoughts of different human beings. You ask, what should you become in life? That's why the students there ask the question sometimes, no, what do you want to become in your life? So they have got their own desire. They have got their own opinions about things. So if I become a doctor, I'll serve the people. There are doctors who are who are stealing the kidneys, etc. They are taking away, selling. So you don't know. In fact, the subject matter here is people do not know, do not take a they cannot take a proper decision in life. They cannot take a proper decision. And whatever decision they take, they think at that time this is perfect. And as the scripture says, definitely at the figure of their life, almost 100% people are unhappy. Whatever you do, many things will be left in that particular type of job. Many things will be left undone, and incomplete work never gives satisfaction to a human being. Incomplete work never gives satisfaction. And with respect to activities, every action is incomplete. Every action is incomplete. So, this understanding, resolution, whatever the human beings take, almost 100% people they commit a mistake. Mm. So you can see, you have to just decide. You have to live anyway. You cannot just remain idle. And there are some people, today they have given the word depression these days. In depressed. Earlier also there are some people who are depressed. Depression is what? Not having any enthusiasm to do anything. No enthusiasm to do anything. He is not interested in doing anything. Not that he is a mature person, he's happy. No, he's not happy, but he's not interested in anything because he knows that it's meaningless. After some time, everything will go away. Why should I work? What should I do for whom, etc. Some people are very lazy. People are there. A handful of people are there who are very lazy. They are very lazy. They don't want to do anything. So varieties of decisions taken by the people. Hardly there will be someone who will decide. "Hmm, there must be something and which need to be known, and human beings can know. And without knowing that, life will remain incomplete. Hmm, there must be something. That sort of understanding hardly takes place in the human beings. Hardly takes place. That is how the nature of the humanity. What can we do? That is how the nature, because feeling helpless is very natural. So, in order to feel comfortable, feel secure, you take up activities, which is the wrong means. You take up activities to feel secure. Activities are required, but to feel secure, you do things means your thinking is wrong. So, one person, one person among crores of people. It has been said by our ancestors. Hardly anybody thinks about this. The reality. What is the reality? See, the child is born. Okay, in a particular family, a child is born. Now, do you know? Do you pay attention? The child is born means it is breathing definitely. Mm. The respiration is taking place, and it is taking place each and every moment. And you have also got examples in the society. You have seen earlier stillborn child. You know, stillborn child means what? In the womb of the mother, the child died. Child was there in the womb, it died. Stillborn baby. After being born, the child died. Within a week, the child died. These instances are there in the society. It's not that it never happens, but hardly anybody pays attention to this. A child is born means in the family means you keep planning. This is the wrong thinking of the human being. You know, you keep planning. I'll make this. After 1 month, it will be this. After 1 year, it will be like this. And for that, in these days, you know, you see these days to keep putting things, keeping things so that the child will use it later. Hmm, for its security. There are groups of people who want to take your money and give the child later. Education, etc., whatever you call. So, among all these things, there may be someone who will pay attention to this. The child is born means it has got its own lifespan. I don't know how much it is, but it has got its own lifespan, which is not known to me, not known to anybody. And may not look so nice, but that's the reality. Reality you cannot afford to ignore because reality is reality. Like for example, today's climate. This is the reality. You cannot ignore. Similarly, uncertainty of the life of a child you cannot ignore. What you are remembering is the nature of the creation, nature of the nature you are remembering. You're not talking something which is harmful to the child. So I'm saying a child is breathing. That's the reality. The child is breathing. Similarly, the life is uncertain. That is also the reality. Hardly anybody pays it. It's almost none you can say. Nobody wants nobody wants the child to die. Fine, nothing wrong. Why should I have the desire that the child should die? But who am I to tell? So when you think about this, mm, anybody thinks about this, he or she doesn't feel comfortable. Child is born, you are comfortable. But the uncertainty of life, you are uncomfortable. But there is someone in this society who pays attention to this. Why the uncertainty is given to anybody? Why uncertainty is given? That is in the system. So I tried this person who is very rare in this society. He tries to accept this as the Lord's wish. Just like the Lord's wish is the child will be born, similarly, the uncertainty factor also is given, and that is also perfect. And I accept this. In order to accept this, it takes a lot of time, I tell you. So, this to dawn in the human being's mind is very rare. That's why it is called the cave like thing. cave is darkness inside the cave. You can't say anything. Similarly, the mind also, the intellect, it is so dark, you cannot pay attention to this. What is the result? You suffer, you cry, you feel unhappy. Why? Because reality, when you do not accept, what happens is you are not you are not ready for that to accept. And whatever will happen is never against the law. Whether you like it or not, the reality will never change. So such a person who accepts this uncertainty as one of the things in the creation, Lord's creation, and he takes him up to that level so that he can understand, he can enjoy this reality. Enjoy this reality. It's not an easy job, I tell you. It's not an easy job. When some child is in time, some child is born, one child is born, you are enjoying. Why not? When the child is dying, you are also enjoying. Because you are not the authority, no? Very simple. You are not the authority. But the incident is happening means what? Who is responsible for that? Neither the child, nor the parents, nor you also. You are also not responsible. Again, even then, even then, you know that you are not the authority. You are not responsible for anything. You are not able to tolerate because your expectation, your with respect to the child, it is different. So, what is this? You are blocking your thinking process. You are blocking. You want your thinking to prevail. You don't want the reality to enter into your head. So such person who wants the reality to enter into his head is very rare in the creation. I tell you. That's why the intellect is called, it is a dark room like thing. You cannot see. That is the reason it has been said in our scriptures, unless a person keeps praying for lives and lives, previous lives, etc. It is imagined also. Previous lives also. So unless you have prayed so much, you cannot think about even this. You cannot think about this because it is frightening in nature. And it discourages you. If you don't think properly, it will discourage you. So the child is born. Anytime this fellow will die, why should I work for it? Right? So this is how it happens. The child is born, okay, fine, life is uncertain. Everybody's life is uncertain, but even then you have to work. Without work, living is not possible. That also you should know. So that is the reason why many people they feel depressed. So I again and again say those who are not worshipping in any form, those who are not worshipping any form, any repetition of the chanting, the name of the Lord, if somebody is not doing, he should not listen to what we say because he cannot digest. In order to accept this aspect of life, what you need is readiness. And readiness, your prayer will give you readiness. Why do you pray? Because you feel helpless. If you think that you don't need prayer, then in the beginning, I mean, if you don't need prayer, then you don't know. Anything happens in the world, if you are not worried, then you don't need prayer. No, for sure. Anything that happens in the world, that includes your body, and any incident, whatever happens, if you are not worried for anything, then you don't need prayer. That is called renunciation. And that is a product of mature thinking, the same intellect. The intellect has come up to this level that whatever happens, the Lord wants to manifest itself in that form, in that particular situation. Lord's manifestation in that form, just like a dream. It has been said in one scripture. In the Upanishad, it has been said, Veda, the entire universe is like dream. See, nobody is worried about anything that happens in the dream. Even if you die in the dream, you laugh after getting up because you know it is not true. Similarly, if somebody, same intellect, it's very important, same thinking person, same mind is there, same human being. So even if the entire universe dissolves, the person is not worried. Why? If it's not true. Just like in the dream, nothing is true. So whatever happens in the dream, he's not worried. Similarly, if the entire universe also dissolves, he's not worried. Then he understands the right thing. Such thinking to take place, this thing is very rare in the creation, in the society. Why? As I told you, who is responsible for that? Whatever decision I'm making, I need to make decision in my life, what to do, what not to do. There are thieves, very well. All over the world there will be thieves. You have not worked for that object, whatever you are stealing, but you take it away from others. But that sort of thinking is there, and they don't feel guilty that they are taking the objects of others, money of others. In fact, there are people who are dacoits. Hmm? They use force to take things away. Bank robbery, etc. These days is taking place. So such type of people are also there. So what do you want to become in your life? Hmm. Because for the second time it's not going to come. Whatever you want to become, you will become in this life alone. So this decision making is a very important thing that makes you what you are. Same human being, but doing varieties of things. Same human being getting intoxicated, drinking liquor. Same human being taking austerity measures. See, penance the person is doing. So it is the decision making faculty that is very important. So what you should do in this Veda, there is one mantra, Gayatri mantra, Savitri mantra. So there the sun deity is invoked. The Lord of that mantra, the prayer is about sun, Lord Sun. Why? Because you see every day morning you see the sun is rising, and you know very well you cannot roam around freely in darkness. You see when the sun comes up in the morning, the birds they start coming out. They start creating noise. Human beings they get up, start collecting food, etc. Light, light, source of life, everything. So, in the Veda, it has been written in the Gayatri Mantra, give me the right thinking. That is the prayer, Give me the right thinking. But what? Because what I will do in life, I don't know. I may do something out of certain emotions. So I can't say what I will do based on certain emotion. Also, I may do certain things. So may my decision making capacity be perfect. That is the prayer. May my decision making capacity be perfect. Whatever decision I'll make, may that lead me to the best understanding in the best understanding. Yeah, best understanding. And if I get the best understanding, whatever the best understanding, I have achieved the last. Nothing more can be done. And anybody who did this much, he got the maximum. So that understanding is the requirement of a person to understand the reality about the entire creation. So the prayer, when you see this Lord Son, slowly it happens. You keep praying, you keep praying. It's not one day affair. Suddenly you took one day one lunch, one day you took lunch and you don't need to eat another month. It's not like that. Every day when you get up, you pray to the Sun deity. Purpose is what? Give me the right thinking. Because right thinking to happen is not a small thing. Entire life will take away. The person dies being a thief. The person dies being a dacoit, being a cheat. You are cheating means somebody else means you are not cheating anybody else. You are cheating yourself. We don't discover that. So you take up. It is your responsibility to lead yourself. How much I don't know, but definitely when you are in the right direction, you will definitely go further. Understanding will be going further means what? Your thinking will be better. And when your thinking is better, your satisfaction also is better. So, such a thing is very rare in the creation. That's the reason why it is said this, the intellect is just like a cave. Varieties of things will be there in your head. Helplessness will be there. Who will take care of me, etc. So nobody is around. Somebody should be there with me. So you cannot rely upon the Lord, the unseen factor. So it takes time. So one has to put effort. Put effort here means think again and again. Whom should he depend upon? And it shows whomever you depend upon, that should be dependable. If you analyze this and get going in the right direction, time will come when you will discover that you have got the maximum in your life. That makes a person the happiest in this world. Rest of the time we will meditate, sit straight, close your eyes, left foot, the toes, left knee, left thigh, right foot, the toes, right knee, right thigh, stomach, chest, back, right palm, fingers, right elbow, right arm, right shoulder, left palm, fingers, left elbow, left arm, left shoulder, neck, back side of the head, right ear, right cheek, left ear, left cheek, mouth, nose, left eye, right eye, forehead, top of the head, the hair, the entire body. This body is what it is. I only know this is a male body or a female body. The body has been made like this. I also know there are other bodies in this world, insects, plants, animals. Everybody has got life. Being a human being is very rare. So many other creatures are there. Millions of innumerable creatures are there. Being a human being is very big thing. Lord's grace, whatever I am happy with this body. Whatever the Lord has made me, whatever little knowledge I have got, I am very happy with that. Nature of the mind is not to have all the knowledges. Limited knowledges will be there definitely for everybody. Limited knowledges, that's good enough for me to live a life. I'm never unhappy with myself. Similarly, I'm never unhappy with anybody else in this world. I keep trying this because varieties of thinkings will be there, varieties of activities will be there. There will be people who will be wrongdoing, and there will be people also who are good. So this is what the nature of the Lord's creation. I do not have objections. I feel compassionate to people who are doing wrong things. Helplessly, they do wrong things. Varieties of incidents they do happen in this world. Some happenings are comfortable, some are not. Things do happen. We had the experience of Corona. It was a very helpless situation, but that is the wish of the Lord. Just like the comfortable situations, the frightening form also belongs to the Lord. I accept both as the Lord's wish. Look at the nose. This is the system. The Lord air will keep the body alive. That is the system. Everybody lives helplessly. Anybody does anything because the life is continuing. Just pay attention. Don't control the respiration. Mental worship. Imagine any form of the Lord. Whatever you imagine, there is bound to be the Lord because the Lord is all pervasive. Put a flower at the feet of the Lord. Roasted in front and pray, oh Lord, give me the capacity to accept whatever I cannot change. Because I know there are so many things which I cannot do. Give me the capacity to change whatever I can. And may I know in each and every situation what I can change and what I cannot change. Taking the name of the Lord again and again. Om Namah Shivaya. You just hear, by hearing itself, the chanting takes place. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Last understanding of every human being is the cause has to be in the form of the effect. You cannot separate clay from the clay pot. Clay has to look like the pot. It looks like the pot, definitely. It doesn't take much for us to understand. Similarly, the source of the universe appears like the universe. Whether it is pot or lamp, it is clay alone. Similarly, whether it is stone, human beings, tree, elephant, fish, everything is consciousness alone. Consciousness because of which the mind is functioning. That consciousness is the entire universe, and thus that consciousness is myself. Everything is consciousness. One consciousness alone is the entire universe, including the galaxies and all. I am that consciousness. Everything is that consciousness. There is no loss, no profit whatsoever. One consciousness looks like many things. ओम स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ